Maggie deliberately bumped into the nurse coming her way. As the nurse bent down to pick up the items, Maggie took the chance to steal a syringe. Then with her accomplice's help, Maggie quietly slipped into the bathroom and successfully climbed out the window afterward. Though she had been paralyzed for 30 years, her arms were surprisingly strong. Her clothes blended with the flowers and plants on the wall, so the gardener trimming the lawn didn't notice her. Her target was her ex-boyfriend Miles, because he already had heart problems. She had bought poison online to use with the syringe. Soon Miles gradually stopped breathing, but the nursing home provided each elderly with a health bracelet. If the heart stopped beating, it would trigger an alarm. But Maggie never charged her bracelet, so the system always showed she was deceased. Now as long as she swapped bracelets with Miles, she could fake the illusion that he was still alive. Then Maggie just needed to return the same way she came, to have a perfect alibi. At this time a long line had formed outside the bathroom, but her accomplice was still blocking the door. When the director finally lost patience and opened the door, Maggie had already returned to her wheelchair. Now she just needed to find a chance to swap the bracelets back. In the afternoon the nursing home organized a trip to the zoo. Maggie and her accomplice quietly slipped away from the group. Then she used an electric shock to simulate a heart attack. The red light on the bracelet started flashing. The alarm at the nursing home went off. Caregivers rushed over to help, but Miles had already been dead for nearly an hour. The caregivers could do nothing. Maggie saw the carried body on her way back. Her face looked sad, but deep down she was smiling. The nurse thought Miles' bracelet had run out of battery, so she plugged it into the charger. Maggie had long guessed this would happen. When no one was around, she quietly swapped the bracelets back, bringing her plan to a perfect end. It turned out decades ago, they were best friends, and both had been Miles' girlfriends. In college they joined a club, planning to put nails in a pressure cooker to attack a school. But before the action, Miles reported them to the police. Maggie was shot in the waist because of this, eventually ending up in a wheelchair. The two girls were treated as terrorists, spending over 10 years in prison. So when they saw Miles at the nursing home, they both knew it was time for revenge. However, unexpectedly, the director found them at the zoo. The director never liked Maggie to begin with. Now she finally had a reason to kick her out. Since they had already killed someone, one more wouldn't matter. So she prepared a big gift for the director using a pressure cooker.